Hello again. Oh, I am really blending into this little chair here, but well, these are the challenges of everyday life. But here I am again, and I realized something again. I just like sharing my new ideas and weird realizations that I have on an everyday basis. What I realized today is that I stopped procrastinating, or at least I procrastinate a lot less than I used to. I really started to wonder why that could be. And I don't think I really had a problem with procrastination, and that is only because I did manage to do it with good results. I think the biggest procrastinating sessions were at the end of my high school and when I had to do my bachelor thesis. The final exams in my high school went like this. There were subjects that you had to do a final exam in, like math, history, and literature. And additionally, you had to choose some other subjects like biology or language or something like that. And these exams had written parts first. Right after school had ended, there was a 3-week period where we had no school, and after that, there were the oral exams. And the funny thing is that I did my written exams pretty well mostly because I was preparing for them for a year before. So it was really easy in the sense that you could download the previous exams, the exams from the previous years, and this way you could prepare. So I had my written exams and I had pretty good results with those exams. We had these 3 weeks where there was no school and we were supposed to prepare for the oral exams. Now, in these 3 weeks, I managed to do absolutely nothing for 2 weeks. And I'm serious. So I binge watched so many series during those 2 weeks. That is what I did the entire day. I just binge watched series and I ate and I slept. So that is what I did. And I don't really remember how I did that and how I managed that in my head, because now I don't really feel like I could do that, because I have this feeling, that I really want to do something useful in a day. I cannot really even stay home for an entire day. But back then I could do that. I could do that for 2 weeks. And in the last week I became very productive. I wrote a plan on how I want to study for these exams, and I managed to study for these oral exams pretty well, and they went well, and I got a good grade in all of them. That was the story of how I procrastinated at the end of high school. And at the end of my bachelor, I guess procrastination really happens when a school is coming to an end anyway. When I had to write my bachelor thesis, I really had a lot of time, so I could have started at any point. Basically, you can start your thesis whenever you want. But I didn't start my thesis up until 3 weeks before the deadline, I think. And I couldn't even come up with the topic for my thesis until 3 weeks from the deadline. So I think that is crazy that even in my mind I was procrastinating. I couldn't even get my mind to work a little to think of a good subject, a good topic for my final thesis. And again, a very similar story. I managed to write my thesis in about 2 weeks. In 1 week I wrote the scientific part, and in 1 week I researched. And I was very fortunate with the fact that I was doing research online, so I could do it whenever I wanted. It was only up to me when I was researching. So I wrote that as well, and it also had a good grade. So I don't think that I really had big problems with procrastination in the sense of results. But I do think that a lot of students have this problem with procrastination. What is funny about procrastination is that you might not even realize that you are doing it. It doesn't even have to be as visible. It could be you not doing your homework when you are little, you rather watch something for 20 or 30 minutes. I think procrastination starts with everyday things, and I don't think that only students have this problem. I really do think that a lot of people, doesn't matter what they are doing, they have this problem. I think it is the easiest to get used to procrastination by procrastinating in little things. As you can see, I got to the point where I had no problem with procrastinating my thesis and my final exams in high school. So if you don't let yourself procrastinate in the smaller things in everyday life, then you are probably less likely to procrastinate in really bigger issues, because your mind won't allow you to. It bothers you so much that you rather do it than not do it. So that is how you get to the point where you can easily justify putting off doing significant things. I think the biggest, most hardcore form of procrastination is where you don't even realize that you are not doing something that you really want, because you might not even realize that you want to do that particular thing. You are just waiting for an opportunity to appear by itself, even though you could do a lot of things for it to make it happen. You could just easily sit down one day and make that particular thing happen. I think that the hierarchy of procrastination might be something like this, that there are small things that you are procrastinating with, then there are the bigger things that you are procrastinating with, and there are the things that you don't even realize you're procrastinating, like, taking out the trash, not writing your thesis, and changing career paths or things like that are really life-changing decisions, and that is really the life-changing procrastination, when you are not doing something that you really want. And with that mindset, I'm pretty sure I still procrastinate some things, because you might never know what you're procrastinating with, as I said, because you might not realize. But what I've been noticing is that I really procrastinate a lot less. And there is one big thing that I think changed in my mindset, and that is that now I realized that time will pass no matter what. I don't know if you know what I mean by that, because you might think, well, I know everybody knows that, but what is the big deal? The big deal is that you can think that time will pass no matter what, no matter if you do something useful. The thing is that you will eventually have to do that particular thing. You eventually have to take out the trash. You will eventually have to write your thesis. And if you realize that time will pass no matter what, the time will come to do that thing no matter what, it just really seems unreasonable to not do it at that moment. And I think what really helped me implement this mindset was starting to declutter things, starting to choose what I really want, and therefore getting to know myself a lot more. Which, getting to know yourself is hard if you are doing it right, because you have to be at peace with a lot of things about yourself. It is very hard to face a lot of things that are not pretty that you are doing or that you have done. With that mindset, it is easier to face that scary thought that no matter what you do, time will pass. I don't know. I might be wrong. I might be thinking that is why I don't procrastinate as much, and it may be not because of that, but I definitely do feel that if you are doing these kinds of things like decluttering and really trying to choose mindfully what you really want, then there's a lot of change that can happen in your behavior. That is what I wanted to share today. I'm really interested how you cope with procrastination, and if you have a similar experience with changing your mindset and then something happening regarding procrastination, I would be also very interested about that. So just share these things with me. Thank you so much for chatting with me, and have a very nice day.